Hi, it's Tom from GreenShortz, and today I'm back in the Hoard, and today I'm taking back some territory. So when I pulled all this stuff out of the shed here, I dumped a lot of it right here, and I've also got this pile that I'm not exactly sure what's there. I know I've got kind of a mixture of things. I've also got these adobe bricks that I've been making for a rocket stove project that's coming up. But all these things are kind of adding to the disarray. And I kind of feel claustrophobic in this space. So I want to take that back. So 3 principles I'm going to be working with today are I'm going to add some array to the disarray. And I try and organize some of the stuff I've got, see what's there, and then I'll be grouping like with like, and I go back with that principle. I also am going to stage some materials so I can stage and then execute. So I've got a couple projects in mind. I'm going to make some sips using insulation and some of the sheathing. I've also got that adobe brick project that I'm working on. But I'm going to put those things where they belong, not right here in the middle of things. So I've got an area where I'm going to be working on both those projects. Yes, it's outside the wall, but it's not seen. So I'm keeping peace for my wife in the areas that she can see. One place I am stashing stuff is in this pile of lumber here. This right now is the firewood pile. When it's either too rotten or split or just too small, as I'm using it for fuel. This particular pile is going to fire the adobe rocket stove when that's completed. And that's going to be big, so I need a big pile of wood. It's also going to be a therapeutic process to get rid of all that stuff, so I'm looking forward to that. From last week's video, I added these 2 principles to the wall. Create to consume and find inspiration. The 1-inch foam ended up being too rigid to get a good impression, so I switched to the 1/2-inch pink foam, which has a little more give. So some of this stuff is too small, too thin to use for sheathing. I've got a project in mind for it, and to get it out of here, I'm going to process it down into smaller pieces. Yes, I will admit, there's a sailboat under there. It's my sunfish. Needs a little work. So let me stop right here and say, every hoard needs a catch-all corner. I think there's some stuff you're just not going to be able to deal with right away. You need a certain amount of space to just be able to stash stuff. So my catch-all corner's in the back, and anything I don't know what I'm going to use it for just yet, within reason. I'm definitely paring down what I'm working with here. The stuff that's just too small, the stuff that's odd sizes, it would be difficult to work with. I'm minimizing that stuff right now. One item of which is all of that galvanized roofing. What I probably need to do is make a recycling run. I've got a recycling center near me. I can get 5 cents a pound for that. It's probably only a couple bucks worth of material, but it allows me to put that material back into reuse. So that's one thing I can do also to reduce my hoard and still feel good about it, is recycling. Alright, so it looks like a mixture of OSB, zip with insulation on the back, some dimensional lumber, and some just regular OSB also. So I think what I'm going to do is disassemble that pile and move the dimensional lumber into the big pile, making it larger because I want to have like with like. Then I'm going to move the zip sheathing with the insulation on the back to where I'm going to be making my SIP panels. Whew, my hour is up, and I've undone a lot of stuff, but I have a pretty good sense for what's there. I do have a couple of projects that are really going to cut into this zip, and I'm actually going to tackle those next. The first one is going to be finishing out the walls in the shed. So that will use some zip and insulation. I've also want to make my father a solar kiln. He's got some lumber that he has had cut, and for him to be able to dry that. So that's another one that's going to use zip plus insulation, and then I'm going to make one of those for myself as well. So I'm actually going to just keep those 3 projects on my list right now in terms of big projects. The 2 solar kilns and the wall in the shed, finishing out the shed. You know, they say when you see one roach, there's 100 more that you can't see. I just found where they live. Apparently a loosely stacked pile of lumber covered in a tarp in Georgia is a roach motel. Yeah, dealt with that. I did throw a lot of stuff around, so I do have some tidying up to do. That's probably going to be a video in itself, but I think it would be quite exciting to see this place go from disarray to clean. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one. You can see my catch-all corner. It's actually a corner.